Welcome back to Rolling Solo in our playthrough of Arkham Horror the card game. We are deep into our current house, or at least Roland's house, and we've recently found ourselves a ghoul minion in the last episode, and we're going to do our best to try to take this guy out to get the clue token that we need using this particular evidence card right here. So, without any further ado, we're starting Roland's first three actions, and he is going to most definitely attack this guy and try to take him down. Now, I'm going to go ahead and attack this guy twice. I need to get a hit value higher than 2. I have a combat of 4. I'm going to use my knife at the very top there for the fight action. So I'm going to have 5 when I put my hand in this bag. And we're going to go for the first action of attempting to kill this ghoul minion and see what happens. I pulled out a gigantic skull. And it says X. X is the number of ghoul enemies at your location. We have 1, so we're going to lose 1 off the top, but it's most certainly higher than the 2 that we need, so this ghoul has taken a hit. So we've got 1 hit on the ghoul. Not bad. So that's our first action, was to give him a good smack, and we're going to go and do the exact same thing with the knife again and see if we can take this guy down. Need 1 more hit. -2, more than enough. We're overkilling on that. So we have gone ahead and we've killed the ghoul minion. And while killing the ghoul minion, what I'm going to play is the fast card evidence. And this evidence card says you can pay 1 resource token, which I'm going to do right now. And it says, after you defeat an enemy, discover 1 clue at your location. So we weren't able to get past this crazy shroud value, but we were able to kill a monster, which allows us to go ahead and take one of the clue tokens which exists at this location. And I don't think in prior videos I actually forgot to put the clue tokens out for this location because I hadn't taken any yet. So we'll put them down and then I get 1 of them. So that's awesome, we're up to 3. And then I'm going to take these 2 cards, we're going to discard it because that was a played card. The ghoul minion was taken out by Roland with his knife multiple times, slashing his way through. And we've got enough to adjust or to go through the act deck. So that was 2 moves. And on his 3rd move, what I could do, it says, the objective says, when the round ends, investigators in the hallway may, as a group, spend the requisite numbers of clues to advance. So I could run to the hallway as my last action, and I'd be able to cash in these 3 in order to advance the act deck. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1 last shot at getting this clue so that I can get that victory point that's in the bottom right. And this is kind of where things get sketchy with this game. It's like you kind of get a little greedy when you see those victory points, and you kind of want to go a little further and see whether you can kind of, you know, beat the system and possibly get yourself an extra point of experience, which will come back to help you in later games. So here's hoping. -2. Well, that definitely is a fail. So it's kind of hoping for like a, +1 or an elder sign or something like that. But that did not work out. So those are the 3 actions that he could take. Now he has finished his turn. The enemies get their phase, but there are no enemies on the board because I've cleaned them up. The upkeep phase says that I draw a card. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a card. And I got Dynamite Blast. Choose either your location or connecting location. Deal 3 damage to each enemy and to each investigator at the chosen location. So that's really handy, actually. So I'm going to hold on to that, and I have to discard 1 other card. So that other card that I'm going to discard is probably going to be, I'm going to say personal training. I don't really want personal training anymore, so let's chuck that one aside. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to, let's see. So we gone ahead and we picked up our card, we've gone ahead and gained our resource, and we have made sure that we're not over the 8 limit. Now we're moving up to the mythos phase. So we're going to drop our doom token on the doom track. It's now ticked up to 4 back there. We need 7 before it flips. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab an encounter card. And we just got the worst possible thing that the seller could ever have, and that is more shroud value. So the obscuring fog showed up, which is gets an extra 2. And now this stupid thing is totally covered in fog, and there is probably no way in heck that we're ever going to be able to get that last clue token, because now it's at 6, and that's crazy. So at this point, that is that, and I think I'm going to have to leave that alone. And we're going back into the investigator phase, so back to Roland. He's got 3 actions. He's going to use his first action to move himself into the hallway. Then for his second action, he's going to... maybe what I'll do is I'm going to gain a resource for my second action, and I'm going to gain another resource for my last action. Or maybe not. Maybe... Yeah, I'll gain a resource for my last action. So there we go. And that's it. Now, it says on the objective of the act deck that when the round ends, which is going to be at the end of the upkeep phase. So right now we just finished the investigative phase. The enemy phase doesn't exist because there are no enemies on the board to do anything with. The upkeep phase allows me to draw a card and gain a resource. So we just got ourselves Dr. Mylan Christopher. He can help us out. He gives us some boost there. He's another ally. But if I want to keep him, which I probably don't, he's a cost of 4. I'm going to discard him. I think I like the guard dog that I have better. And so we'll just discard that. But I do get 1 extra resource, and now I have 4 resources, which is not bad. And then now we're going ahead and make sure we have 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, can we actually keep that card? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, let's keep it. Don't want to throw away things that we can possibly keep. And then now we're actually officially at the end of the round sequence. So now it says when the round ends, investigators in the hallway may as a group spend the requisite number of clues to advance, and we are in the hallway. We've got our 3 clues. Let's go ahead and spend them. And let's flip this guy and see what happens. Using the barrel from the attic, you carry ice and snow from the cellar and hurl it at the barrier. The barrier sparks and shudders as it consumes the ice, then hisses and fades out of existence. The barrier blocking passage into the parlor has vanished. Reveal the parlor. So we're going to go ahead and reveal the parlor now. This is opened up. And it says there's a shroud value of 2. There's no clues there. It doesn't look pretty in that room, that's for sure. And it says resign. This is too, so I can choose to resign, which means I can flee and panic because it's just too terrifying. Or there's a character called Lita Chandler who's in this room, and it says here while Lita Chandler is not controlled by a player, she gains the ability to do an action, to do a parlay test, and if you succeed, take control of her. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab Lita Chandler, and I'm going to put her in the parlor because she's in there, lurking around. So there's Lita Chandler, and she's in there. So we're going to try to see if we can actually get her. But the other terrible thing that happens here, because nothing ever 100% great happens, it says spawn the set-aside Ghoul Priest in the hallway. So now I've got myself this dude who just happened to show up in the hallway, and he is not happy. Excuse me. He's not very happy. So he is a very, very powerful Ghoul Priest. You need a 4 or higher to hit him. He has 5 hit points. He's 4 to evade him. He's got the prey ability, which says highest fist value. That doesn't, or highest combat. He's a hunter, and he can retaliate. So when you attack him, if you fail to attack him, he hits you back, which is crazy. And then, of course, we've now satisfied this whole card for the barrier. And then it says here that the new act is, what have you done? A woman with a torch stands in your parlor, a glimmer of hatred in her eyes. What have you done to my barrier? She screams, furious. Before you can answer, a ghastly wail sounds behind you, and a creature wearing robes and a deer skull mask tears through the wall, advancing towards you. If the Ghoul Priest is defeated, advance. So in order to beat this, we need to kill the Ghoul Priest. So this is kind of insane. So I'm in the room with him. He's got this ability called Prey, and what I want to make sure that I play this right is I'm not too familiar with the Prey keyword, so let's do a quick check just to make sure. And it says Prey. Given the opportunity, some enemies will pursue a defined investigator. If the inventor is about to automatically engage. Moving towards the nearest investigator has a choice between multiple. Okay, so essentially he's just going to track you down. The enemies are indicated with a bold prey in their text and followed by instructions of whom they engage. Okay, so prey just means when you're trying, if we had more than one investigator, you're trying to figure out where he's supposed to go. He's going to go after the one with the highest combat value. But in terms of hunter keyword means he's just going to hunt down the closest person. And then retaliate means if I attack him and I fail, I instantly take what's listed down below here as the 2 health damage and the 2 sanity damage, which is very, very heavy and actually enough to almost knock me out just by itself. That's craziness. So it now wraps around to my turn. Now, I'm not going to bother trying to evade this guy, I don't think. Or actually, you know what? Maybe I want to try. Maybe this is when I get crazy and try to evade him. Because if I evade him and I succeed, he gets exhausted. I can move to the parlor. And what I can't do yet is I can't... The downside of this is that I'm trying to get the dynamite blast. But you need 5 resources to do it. And it says choose either your location or a connecting location. Deal 3 to each enemy and to each investigator there. So it's kind of a suicide mission. But essentially I could go ahead and try to just flat out kill the guy. Now if I go ahead and do something crazy like throw dynamite at him while I'm in the same room, I'm going to take 3 damage and that's going to knock me up to 6. And then as soon as he attacks me, he's going to put 2 damage on me, which will put me up to 8, and I really would have to make sure that I hit him on the next attack. So this is a bit wild. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to evade him to keep him from being able to attack me on the next turn, because I think that's the best thing to do right now. So my evade is 2, and I'm going to use both these manual dexterity cards to add 4 to my evade check. So now my evade check is up to 6. I'm going to take a look through my cards here, and I'm going to use barricade as well, and I'm going to burn that. So now I've got 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 5 plus my 2 over here in order to boost that up. One thing I'm going to check really quickly before I do this, and I'm sorry I have to do this while I'm live on the video here, is I just want to make sure when I go ahead and modify this that I'm allowed to put multiple cards. And it says you can, first investigator may commit eligible cards from his hand to the skill test. An eligible card bears 1 or more icons. Each investigator committed gets you extra 1. So there's okay, so it's only the other investigators at the bottom that say you can only commit 1 card, but you can commit as many cards as you want. So that's great. So we're going to go ahead and commit 1 agility, all these 4 agility, on top of the 2 agility. So I'm going with 7 against a 4. And I've really, really, really got to do this because I really don't want the Ghoul Priest to be able to hit me in the next, on the next turn when I'm done my actions, because he's likely not going to be dead. So let's try and see if we can exhaust the guy by running away from him. I got a -4. Are you serious? Okay, so I have, if you take away all of this and you put 1 with the 2, it's not enough. Oh my gosh, that is absolutely brutal. So not only did I not evade him with all of that help, that is insane. So I really did think that I'd be able to evade him with that, but I used every single agility card that I could, and I still couldn't get away from him. He's that vicious. That's craziness. Okay, so that's really bad. So now the question is, what do I do? You know, I've got 5 resources. He is going to hit me if I let me think here. Now just 1 second here, because I want to check the retaliate thing to make sure that if I throw dynamite at him, he's not going to hit me back. So it says retaliate. Each time an investigator fails a skill test. Okay, so it's only when you fail a skill test. So I can throw the dynamite to hit him for 3. It will hit me for 3, but he's not going to retaliate. It just means he's that much weaker, which is not bad. The only problem is I don't have enough resources to do it, but I don't mind spending one of my actions to get a resource to then spend all 5 of these resources to take this dynamite blast. I'm going to drop it, and it says choose either of your location. Oh, sorry about the focusing there. Or a connecting location. Deal 3 damage to each enemy and to each investigator. So I'm doing it. I am risking it. So I'm taking 3 hits, but I'm also putting 3 hits on him because I'm taking him down with me. And now we've got the Ghoul Priest down to 2 more health to go before he's dead, and that is all 3 of my actions. So now what are we going to do? Well, we're going to come over here, and we're going to see it says enemies with the hunter keyword move toward the nearest investigator, and each engaged enemy attacks if available. Oh shoot! So he is going to attack me for 2 because he is engaged with me and he's there in the room with me. So I am going to take 2 sanity damage, which puts me very close to 5. And then I'm going to take 2 health damage, putting me up to 8. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these and one of the sanity and drop them over here on the research librarian, which is going to kill him off. So in order to avoid my character from taking all that damage. So I didn't take as much damage, but I'm still kind of not looking very pretty right now. Oh, geez, that's bad. Okay, and then now we're going to go ahead and draw 1 card and gain 1 resource. And I found the flashlight. Well, that would have been helpful if I was inside the cellar still. Oops, I don't get to put that there. It goes over here. And then I get 1 resource. And now we go up to the mythos phase at the start of the new round, and we put another doom on the agenda, which is scary because this is getting closer and probably more bad things are going to happen back there. Don't want to look at that. And then each investigator draws 1 card from the encounter deck, and I hope it's nothing bad. Rotten remains. Oh gosh. So you're testing your willpower again. We found some rotten remains while running away from this giant Ghoul Priest. And it says for each point you fail, take 1 horror. Oh, that's no good. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go try to tackle this willpower check. Now I don't have a single card with the willpower icon on it, so that's kind of inconvenient. So my willpower is 3, which is not good, and I need a 3 in order to pass this, or I take a horror for every point that I fail. So this check alone could kill me, and I don't have anything I can do to help. I don't have anything I can do to really help myself here. So this is kind of brutal. So I'm really just relying on the dice bag to save me because it can't give me any more than 2 damage or I'm in serious, serious trouble. I pulled a 0. Oh my gosh, what are the chances of that? I have passed the test. I don't take any horror. Insane of all the cards to pull. Holy, okay, that was very close. Way, way, way too close for comfort. And that is the end of the encounter, or the mythos phase, sorry. So going into our next episode, we're going to be moving back into the investigation phase. So come back in the next part, and I'm hoping, if we get lucky enough, that we might actually be able to take this Ghoul Priest down together. And if we do, we're going to get ourselves, what's in the bottom right corner is 2 victory points, which would be really nice to help us spend to upgrade some cards going into the next scenario. That would be awesome. But you know, I don't know how this is going to pan out. But either way, I'm still holding out hope that we can do something here to take this guy down. So until the next episode, thanks for watching and keep on rolling solo.